Darna!
Hello and welcome to Comic Book Movie Oblivion, the podcast about feature films based on comic books and comic strips that people have stopped talking about. We're your hosts, Jordan and Kumar. That's me.
And me.
And this week, we are talking about Darna versus the Planet Women.
Yep.
From 1975.
Yep.
One of 15 Darna movies.
There's at least 15 movies that have Darna in
right.
them.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think... Some of them, I think she's making an appearance.
Yes, so there's 13 Darna movies.
Yes.
There's at least 2... I don't know how many Captain Barbell movies are.
Yeah.
But she's in 2 of them.
Yep.
This is, by the way, like early 2000s, and 90s.
Movies.
This is way pre-crossover superhero movies.
Yeah.
Darna's showing up in these Captain Barbell movies.
Yes.
So we've had 15 movies. 1951 was the first one. Comics started in 50.
That's mind-boggling to me.
It's completely lost, except for apparently somebody found 40 minutes somewhere. Or it was completely lost, except for this 40 minutes that's been found.
40 minutes isn't bad. You know, it was probably only an hour.
Yeah, maybe. TV series in 1977, couldn't find any information about that. TV series in 2005 with 170 episodes.
Yep.
2009 with 140 episodes, and 2022 with 130 episodes.
Incredible.
Really incredible.
I saw some stills from it, and it looks really good.
Oh yeah, I've seen clips from this online all the time. You see Darna clips, and I'm like, this is some weird sexed up Filipino. I don't know what this thing is. I always wondered about it, but I would see it. I knew it was called Darna. I knew it was from the Philippines, and it just looked like an excuse to have girls running around in bikinis. It was a bit of a Wonder Woman kind of thing going on there. It
100%.
seemed like.
Well, not quite 100%. But I mean, this week's film, I think, that had that vibe.
Yes.
But actually, Darna is huge in the Philippines.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, obviously, from all of the... there's also like, there was an animated...
Right.
series,
right?
1986, I think it came out. There's webcomics.
Yeah.
There have been ballets.
Yeah.
This is like some JoJo level craziness.
Yes.
We got ballets, musicals.
Yeah.
Novel, like kids books.
Yeah.
This is Superman level media penetration.
Yes, but what was shocking to me reading these comics, now we have a handful of comics that have been scanlated into English by a fan, actually the main person we have to thank is someone named Nina Zumel. I found 2 versions of this. I don't know if Nina Zumel translated the first version. There's kind of a cleaned up version with better lettering.
Right.
Which was definitely by Nina Zumel. Just doing this as a fan. The kind of shocking thing is, if you look for images of the earliest Darna comics, they aren't out there. None of this has been preserved in the Philippines. Nobody has found these old comics and scanned them or tried to preserve them. Nobody's found the printing plates in an old warehouse or anything. It's all gone.
The impression I get, I didn't do a real deep dive on this, but the impression I get is that the comics are not a big deal.
Right.
It's where it's at is these movies.
I see.
And the spin-off media.
Got it.
It started with comics, but that's sort of fallen by the wayside. Although there was a they have re-released comics. Comics came out again in 2002, and there's a webcomic that I think came out in 2009.
Okay.
Which looks like it's a slightly revisionist one because it's an older woman who's forgotten that she was ever Darna.
I've heard this story before.
Sounds a little bit like Miracle Man.
Yeah.
Or Marvel Man.
Yeah. But even so, and I think there's even been some comics that have come out in English.
Right.
Or that have been simultaneously translated in English. But it's shocking to me, also in the sense that maybe because I'm looking at this as Nestor Redondo art, who seems to me like an artist that we should absolutely be trying to preserve. Somebody out there in Manila should be going to these. But I guess the other thing is these aren't like newspaper comics where you can find newspapers and find the peanuts that appeared that day. These were in some comic magazine which surely disintegrated.
Right, they just weren't preserved. You don't have archives. Why would you?
There's not 10
like
different newspapers that were carrying this strip in it, and you might be lucky to find one for July 4th, 1957 or something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, they would all have long gone. The Filipino climate is not very forgiving to pulp paper.
I got that sense too somehow. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about these comics. So, as we mentioned, Darna first appeared in 1950. She was a complete copy of an earlier comic called Varga by the same writer, Mars Ravelo. So Mars Ravelo he'd drawn this comic as well called Varga, and then had some falling out or something, left that publisher, and I don't know what the copyright laws are like, but it seemed like he only needed to change her name from Varga to Darna, and problem solved.
Yep.
And then he brought on the artist Nestor Redondo. Nestor Redondo went on to become, I would say, one of the big three of the Filipino artists that broke into the United States in the 70s.
I believe it. The art is amazing.
Yeah.
It's as good as anything in EC Comics or anything like that. There's a snake with a woman's head.
Yes. It actually looked kind of like something out of Indonesian folklore to me. It's a really scary looking old witch's head on a snake body.
Yep. I'm not going to go into detail, but there are some cultural connections between the Philippines and
I kind of guessed. So basically there were the two elder statesmen of comics art in the 70s, or in the 50s, 50s through the 70s in the Philippines were Nestor Redondo and Alfredo Alcala. And then this young buck came in, Tony De Zuniga. Tony De Zuniga went off he was kind of mentored by these two guys. Then he went off to New York, he studied art, he came back to Manila. My understanding is then when the regime change happened, the mid-70s, things started to suck. He went to New York again, got work at DC Comics. And
I read about,
and then he basically was like, we can recruit more guys from the Philippines. DC was looking for artists and couldn't afford them. And they're like, we can only afford $12 a page. And he's like, what are you talking about? That's gold. De Zuniga was like, Carmine Infantino at DC, and Joe Orlando, who we mentioned before on the podcast, is the author of the pirate comic and Watchmen, and a former EC stalwart. They were the heads of DC at the time. They're like, we need more artists, but we can't afford them. We've only got $12 a page. De Zuniga's like, that is a huge amount of money. And he went back to the Philippines and he recruited these guys, including his old mentors. Redondo and Alcala.
Yeah, Redondo went. I read that. He went to LA, I think.
It would have been New York. And Redondo, eventually all those guys moved into animation. Once they were kind of spreading out. De Zuniga formed the studio. De Zuniga ended up creating Jonah Hex, co-creating Jonah Hex in the 70s.
Which we're going to get to.
Yep, we're going to get to that. Redondo ended up taking over Swamp Thing after Bernie Wrightson left. So that initial, I think it was 21 or 24 issues of that run, Wrightson was on there until issue 10, and then it was Redondo for 10 issue. Alcala took over the Alan Moore run of Swamp Thing later on. In that, he's got a bunch of issues in that run.
Damn, we're going to be ringing the bell.
Yeah.
we already rang the bell for Marvel Man. We're just going to be talking about Alan Moore.
We're just going to be going and going. Yeah. Okay, so Redondo's the artist on this version, Darna. If you look at Wikipedia, there's some speculation, or maybe they pulled it from interviews with Ravelo, about how there's like some post-World War II feeling about like needing some pride to like rebuild the country, and some of those sentiments coming in here.
Yep.
And her helmet, her crown, her tiara being kind of like the Air Force, the Philippine Air Force emblem.
I couldn't find a good source for this. I read some of those links.
Yeah.
And they interviewed like Redondo's kid.
Okay.
And this is the source.
Right.
On what
Ravelo
was thinking.
Yeah.
And it seems very... And they even get stuff wrong. In one particular interview I read, it said that Ravelo based it on Superman. Like everyone... The Superman connection is always highlighted.
Yeah.
Even though Darna is more like a Captain Marvel.
Oh, 100%.
And Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, everyone talks about Superman.
Yeah.
And this interview says that Ravelo just based her off Superman because he loved Superman as a kid. It's like, no. He was born in like 1919.
Yeah.
Superman appeared when he was in his 20s. So if they're getting that wrong, What else are they getting wrong? So I'm taking all that with a grain of salt. But I mean, what's indisputable is that she's very much like Wonder Woman.
Yes.
She looks like Wonder Woman, but with a kind of...
She actually looks exactly like Promethea. Like, we'll ring the bell for that. It looks so similar. The costume looks exactly like Alan Moore and J.H. Williams' Promethea.
Interesting. Interesting.
She also...
I wonder what the connection there is, if there is one.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, but I was just going to say, but also with Captain Marvel's power set, essentially.
Yes.
Captain Marvel, there's been a film now, we know what happens. He yells out a magic word and transforms.
And the little kid transforms as a grown adult.
Yep.
And has the powers of these 7 gods. Yep. Like Solomon.
The wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, etc., etc.
And we're told on page 1 of this, Darna has the beauty of Venus and like the strength of Apollo and Samson.
It's a pretty solid ripoff.
Pretty solid ripoff, but also interesting. I mean, we'll come back to it, but that's very non-Catholic. It struck me as like origin powers for her to have.
I think there might be a Filipino folk connection to do with the power of magic amulets.
Yes,
so the rock is a stand-in for a...
Right, how she gets power, she swallows this rock,
magic
which
rock.
has the word
Darna
written on it.
in Latin letters.
Yes.
Like in the Roman script, And
it gives her these powers. And that was in Wikipedia too, that was maybe this is connected to Philippine folklore about amulets.
Yes.
I want to believe all those things are true.
Yeah.
I think this is a very distinctively non-Western superhero comic.
Yes.
The family structure she's in, she lives with her kid, she's a little kid, maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, with her little brother, and she lives with her grandma. Mm-hmm. Now, I was immediately like, I can't think of any, maybe Spider-Man essentially is living with his grandma. Peter Parker is living with his grandma. But there's a big difference here in that grandma knows about her secret identity because she swallows this magic stone and she's like, whoa, I don't know what happened. And she comes home and immediately, as any little kid would do, tells her brother and grandma that she put this stone in her mouth to hide it because it crashed in the forest and she's like, I don't want the other kids to get it. She put it in her mouth and it came alive and went down her throat.
Yep.
And then Grandma says, what was the word that was written on it? She says the word Darna, and she transforms into the superheroine. So that family structure, and they're living in this little,
it's like a traditional kind of. They live in a small Filipino village, like a barangan.
Yeah.
And the house is, it's traditional Filipino kind of like village house. It's on stilts. It's made of like woven cane, probably, or something, and thatched roof. And it all looks very authentic and very different to anything, even the Phantom, which would be the kind of which would have what I would only call a cosmetic kind of similarity to these stories.
Yeah,
but it's much more authentic.
Yes, and that's why I want to believe all that stuff about the World War II Air Force helmets and the folklore about the stone, because all the rest of it seems to be kind of fitting together in this has a very unique flavor.
Yeah, I wish I'd had more time to do a bit more, but I just wonder how much there is out there, because I did some Googling and there's not a lot about this character.
No.
The Wikipedia article, as you pointed out, just refers to newspaper articles written in the last couple of years in online Filipino newspapers that are written in English. I don't know if there's a Tagalog Wikipedia entry for Darna. I didn't think to check. Oh well. Yeah. Tune back in next week.
Well, so we get about 3, 4 pages of Darna's origin. And now we learn that she can turn into the superheroine. Narda is the little girl's name.
So Darna is just an anagram of Nada.
Nada, yeah.
Although, was it Varga? The Varga's alter ego was also called Nada.
Yes. Yes.
So he hasn't even bothered to change the Peter Parker name. He's just kept that.
Yeah.
He's only changed the Spider-Man name.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I also like on the first page of this comic, it's on the title page, it's got a picture of her brother. It says also starring Ding.
Yes,
because that's his name.
Yes.
So good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know that Ding is also in this comic.
Yes. And her little brother Ding and Grandma are just overjoyed for these amazing powers that she has now. By the way, it's like she's struck by lightning as well, just like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And now we've got this 120-page story. Darna disappears for, I'm going to say, 70, 80 pages of it.
I couldn't believe that.
I was like, what's going on? Really fascinating. It seems like Ravelo was not very interested in Darna, maybe because he covered it all with Varga.
Yep.
already. I just didn't want to repeat her origin. And so we get the origin of this other character, this snake goddess named Valentina. So Valentina is this girl who's born to these parents, but she's got a Medusa head of live snakes.
Yeah.
Her parents decide that they're...
Well, it's her father specifically.
Yeah.
Her father's, he seems pretty progressive.
Yeah.
He says, no one is going to take my daughter away from me.
Yeah.
He swears the midwife to secrecy.
Yeah.
He says, I don't want people coming around and pointing at my daughter. I definitely won't want those scientists coming around and doing tests. We're going to go live in the bush.
Yeah.
And I'm going to raise you away from prying eyes. And, like the midwife's like, oh, no, I'm going to go tell everybody. I can't wait till everyone's pointing
She
and laughing
decides
at
that
him.
when she's in the woods, she decides, no, I'm going to definitely tell people that. And then she's attacked by snakes.
She's attacked by snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so Valentina can control snakes both consciously and unconsciously?
And unconsciously, yeah. Their house is like surrounded by snakes all the time. It's driving them crazy.
I love it when they're in the woods. It's like, I can't handle these snakes here all the time.
Yeah.
It's presumably years have passed.
Yeah.
And it's just Snake Central all the time.
Yeah.
What does she say? She says to her daughter, I've actually taken a picture of one of the panels where Valentina says, don't try to deny it, Mum and Dad. I heard you talking about killing my snakes, right? And she says, darling, you have to understand this situation. There are too many snakes in this house. Snakes on the floor, snakes on the table, snakes on the furniture, snakes, snakes, snakes. Everywhere I look, I see snakes.
Yeah. But Darna, teenage Darna, starts to rage and basically kills both her parents or has them attacked by snakes and then eventually goes back and throws their bodies off a cliff. But she's compelled, she feels this compulsion to go into the woods to this cave.
It's unclear if she may have been in there already. I don't think Ravelo really knows or cares. Because in the cave she finds her real mother.
Yes.
I don't know how that works when her mum gave birth to her.
Yes,
like
her spiritual mother.
And her real mother is a snake with an old lady's head.
Yeah. Yeah, named Cobra.
Sometimes with a C and sometimes with a K. And just crazy looking.
Yeah, really frightening. But Cobra reveals they have this mystical pool in the cave, this pond where it's like a magic mirror that they can see visions of other places and times, and shows her a world that was ruled by reptiles.
Yeah,
by
the time of the
dinosaurs.
which is also the time of the snakes.
Yeah. And Cobra's like, hey, you can bring this time back. You just need to wipe out humanity. It can be the age of snakes again. You can be a goddess. You can be a queen ruling the world of reptiles. So Valentina goes off, and while
she encounters a handsome man.
She encounters a handsome man who...
Eduardo,
who falls in love with her. Which is crazy.
She's wearing a head wrap.
What happens later. But he's on the run.
It's crazy.
He's on the run from the law. We don't know what his story is. That's also
Eduardo is a total cad.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there right now.
There's real... Another thing about this comic is it's got real telenovela vibes about it in terms of the twists and turns that happen in the story, in terms of amount of time we spend on romances
twists
and
turns
stuff.
that are not telegraphed at all.
Yeah.
And nothing's more important about the romantic relationship among the protagonists and antagonists.
Yes. So she falls in love with him. He falls madly in love with her. But she's wearing this scarf, this veil.
So he can't see her.
So he can't see. He doesn't know about her snakes on her head. And Cobra finds out about this romance.
Because she's got a spy snake called Actob or something like that. It's a tiny little snake that runs around.
Yeah.
Who is sometimes sympathetic and sometimes a villain.
Yes.
Sometimes villainous.
Yes.
Which is, I don't think Ravelo could quite make up his mind.
Yeah, the snakes sometimes act on their own too. One of them bites a kid, not on her command. It just bites a kid. Like, she doesn't control them necessarily. They do have their own will.
Sometimes they act on her unconscious will. Sometimes she orders them around.
But she can kind of order the snakes in her head to, like, attack. She's like, she has to lean in on someone and, like, attack snakes, and they attack. So Cobra's like, hey, look, you don't... Because now Valentina's having doubts. She's like, wait a second, this guy loves me. Maybe I don't need to wipe out humanity. I can rule humanity. And... Because I think he says to her, you're so beautiful, you could be queen of the world. People would just worship you. And Cobra's like, no, listen. You go to a town and you show them your head and you see how they react. So she goes to this town, and this little village, And she meets this old woman
Yep.
who invites her in, and the old woman's like, whoa, this little young woman is beautiful. Also is wearing all white, and she goes and tells the other villagers about this visitor to her home.
And they all decide she's the
Virgin
Madonna.
Mary.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa, she's beautiful and she's dressed in white. And they haven't even seen her at this point. A bunch of them are like, it must be the Virgin Mary, or she's a saint, or something like that.
Yep.
They all go over to gawk at the visitor. Reminded me of village life in India a lot. Like, this was accurate to how things work in these villages, where everybody comes over to have a look at the visitor. And they're all gaping in the windows and stuff. And Valentina decides to exploit them. She has a quite complete understanding of human nature, despite having grown up in the woods with only her mom and dad.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, let's see what's real like with you. And this little boy is bitten by a snake by accident, and she calls her snake out. She says, I can heal this boy. The local healer can't do anything.
Yeah.
And she heals the boy after half an hour, and they're like, she really is a Madonna.
Yep.
And they start, it's quite interesting, religious...
There's a lot of religion in it.
Yeah, but how gullible these people are. Like, Ravelo is really pointing the finger at them for being so... They just immediately jump to the conclusion... They're such yokels. They're just immediately like...
Yeah, she chastises the snake for biting him.
Yeah.
She's like, it's play acting essentially for the rube's benefit. She's like, don't you bite anybody anymore, or I'll chop your head off. And the snake is contrite. It's like bowing its head.
Yeah. So finally she like takes him into the town square, and she's like, look at me. And she reveals her hair, her snake hair, and the villagers freak out.
Instantly. They turn on a dime and they're trying to kill her.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like throwing rocks at her and stuff. She goes back to Eduardo. She shows him her hair, and he freaks out as well.
Instant freak out. Right after he swore undying love to her.
This is straight out of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. A lot of this stuff.
Yeah, you could make that.
So finally, 80 pages later, we finally get to see what Narda and Ding have been up to.
8 issues or
Narda and Ding have been they sell newspapers on the street. Darna, the superheroine, has become famous for stopping crimes, including one headline which says 200 pickpockets seized by Darna. They got a pickpocket problem in Manila, I guess. 200. Wow.
That's a lot of pickpockets.
It's a lot of pickpockets. Anyway.
What's she doing with does she just hover around waiting until someone gets their pocket picked?
I don't know.
Is that really the best use of her time?
I don't know. She's like taking down like crime rings and stuff.
Maybe it was an Oliver Twist style pickpocket ring that she busted up.
Yeah.
She arrested Fagin and all of his little kids.
Yeah. So now we think finally Darna's getting involved. No, they first fight this Philippine ogre type character called
it's like a tree giant.
Yeah,
smokes a mango tree.
Yeah, I love this creature. It seemed like some sort of local folklore that I thought was really cool. But they just deal with that for an episode or two. They're still not dealing with Valentina. Valentina goes to this village of El. I think this is the village where she's hanging out, and she wipes out.
She kills everybody in it.
Kills every man, woman, and child. And the dogs, I think, maybe, as well. Wasn't there a dog attack?
She definitely kills some dogs.
Yeah.
Either now or a little later at the next village.
Yeah, and then the news gets around about this village being wiped out. And then Narda's like, okay, we better go sort this out. Transforms into Darna. Flies off, but we've got more telenovela to get into. Because she turns back into a little girl... And they go to this little village, and they're like, up to a hut, and they're like, hey, we're buskers, and they're like, come in, kids, and go have a nap. And the two kids, Narda and Ding, go and have a nap in the other room. Meanwhile, it just happens to be Eduardo's house. So Eduardo comes back home. He's escaped from Valentina, and we find out he has this fiancée, Consuelo.
Yeah, which really puts...
I was like, what was he
doing falling in love with Valentina? It turns out that they have undying love for one another, and he was forced to flee from the village because he'd been accused of assaulting,
murdering some gang, or was it a politician or a gang leader or something?
Something like that.
But anyway, Consuelo just clears this up in 2 word balloons. She's like, no, that was you were framed, and this was all sorted out while you were away.
And then they embrace and they're going to get married tomorrow.
That's right. Valentina shows up.
She overhears
all this. And,
She's pretty poor old Valentina. She's been put through the ringer.
oh yeah.
She comes in and she keeps yelling "Vibora."
Yeah, was that one of her snakes?
It's the Spanish word for snake.
Right, got it.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was one of them was called that, but no.
Okay.
There's a lot of Spanish
summoning
words in the Filipino language.
Right.
Because they were a Spanish colony for 300 years.
Right. So Eduardo fakes being angry at Consuelo and, like, slaps her.
Yep.
And, does he go off with Valentina?
He does.
Yeah. Okay, so now finally Narda's like, okay, she wakes up. She's like, what happened? What did we miss?
She was in the bedroom the whole time, asleep. As a child.
Yeah. Turns into Darna, goes off into the woods. Ding is chased by snakes. There's a lot of wrestling.
Yeah, because Valentina is super strong.
Yeah.
Because, not because of any innate power, but because she had such a wild upbringing in the jungle. She's just been climbing and jumping and running, and it's given her Charles Atlas style superpowers.
Yeah.
So she's a match for Valentina.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
She's a match for Darna. Darna does overpower her though, at which point Valentina sicks her head snakes on her.
Yeah.
Telling her that poison is completely unsurvivable. No one can survive it. It's the deadliest poison. But Darna does survive it because she's a magical being.
Yep. They go into the cave. Everybody ends up in the cave where Cobra is.
Cobra's back.
Yeah. But then there's an earthquake, very conveniently.
Yes.
But it's not just convenient. There's actually a reason for it, which is it was the will of God.
Ah, yes. Yes, that's right.
God decided that these evil beings in this cave, it was time for them to die and cause an earthquake.
It's a shame you didn't decide earlier before the whole town got killed.
Agree. Hard agree. But that's the way the logic works here.
And all the snakes are trapped in the cave, along with Cobra.
Yeah.
And they're just dead now.
Yeah, the snake army that was going to take over the world, they're all just
But for some reason, Valentina's spared.
Yeah.
And she sees in a very creepy panel, she sees the dead faces of her parents calling for her to join them.
Yeah, off the cliff that she threw them off, yeah.
And long story short, she does end up throwing herself off the cliff. And her body ends up lying right next to that of her parents. And we see them too, they're all decayed. Some pretty grotesque stuff. If I was a kid in 1950s Manila, I'd think this is some pretty rad shit.
Yeah. Darna finally tries to convince Valentina to turn herself in.
Ah, yes.
She's like, I know you're not innately evil. This comes up a couple times where, like, society treated you wrong and those people were cruel to you. And even Consuelo was like, Valentina, that poor woman, was treated so badly by society and by you, Eduardo.
Yes, thank you. Someone calling out the real villain of the piece.
She's like, Eduardo, even you were cruel to her. And
is it poor old Cobra's just a nice snake lady living in a cage, looking at dinosaurs in her magic pool. Eduardo, though, he's out here sleeping around, playing with young women's hearts.
Yeah. And here in the Nina Zumel translation, Darna says to Valentina, I'm here and I'm begging you to surrender and to do the righteous thing. To do an act of righteousness is to recognize God, and the moment you recognize God, the glory of heaven is yours.
Pretty good.
But Valentina's not going to have any of that, and she jumps to her death. Too late for Darna to fly down and catch her.
Yep.
So Eduardo and Consuelo are reunited. They were just faking, of course, the argument that they had with each other.
Although Valentina wasn't even fooled anyway.
No, that's right.
So it all just went nowhere.
That's right.
It's just melodrama that goes nowhere.
That's right. That's right. Okay, that's almost. There is actually, we do have another Darna comic, a short one, which we'll read for next week, called The Leech Woman. I've seen some images from this thing, and it looks crazy. It's this woman, beautiful woman with a big, like, trunk, like, blood-sucking nose.
Excellent.
Coming off the middle of her face, from what I've seen of it.
Can't wait.
Okay, so let's...
read more of these comics.
Yeah. Let's talk about Darna versus the Planet Women.
Okay.
From 1975. Oh, by the way, I did want to mention one thing about the 1950 version, which I found from reading online. One interesting fact I found on this blog post was the woman who played Valentina. Apparently it follows Valentina. It was actually movie came out before the Valentina story had even finished in the comics.
Cool.
Was played by a woman named Christina Aragon, and they made a headdress for her of actual live snakes.
Is this in the 40 minutes that was recovered?
Maybe because apparently I read somewhere that 40 minutes was mostly Valentina material.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember how in Dune, the sci-fi miniseries, Irulan had that butterfly hat? This is better.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Those were live butterflies because they're flying up into the lights. I remember her saying that. Yes. For weeks, Christina had to wear a headdress onto which real crawling snakes were sewn, not the store-bought plastic variety. She endured this challenge courageously, handling all the live snakes from the small 2-footers to a long 14-foot reticulated python that coiled around her arm.
Whoa!
Yep.
Well, we might have to come back to that.
Yeah, if we can find it. Somebody please go
Someone uploaded.
Somebody go through the archives. Okay, 1975, this movie stars Vilma Santos.
This is crazy that it stars Vilma Santos. Vilma Santos is the biggest star in the Philippines.
Okay.
Like royalty.
Yeah.
Basically. 60-year career. From a child actor up to the present, she's still acting. Not only is she acting, she's a prominent national politician.
Okay.
And served as governor of a Filipino province. Mm-hmm. I understand, even sometimes Filipino people are shocked to hear that she'd played Darna.
Right.
It's just, yeah. So she's like the equivalent of a multi-Academy Award winning actor in the Philippines.
Yes, right. The interesting thing here is, the first of several interesting things is, she's playing both Narda and Darna. So we don't have a little kid turning into a grown woman.
Yes.
Which means that unlike in the comic where Darna is a famous superheroine that everybody knows and reveres, this version has to operate in secret.
Yeah.
She has to turn back into Narda
before anyone
notices that some superhero hoax has been going on.
Yeah, these 4 movies, I think, starring Santos, are like the definitive version of Darna. Apparently, when you think about Darna, this is the version you're thinking of, where she's an adult woman that turns into a superpowered adult woman, not a child that turns into a grown up.
Got it.
Having said that, we get an origin story in this movie.
Yeah.
Apparently, not all of the Santos Darna films have an origin story, because I'm sure you were probably wondering, I sure was, are they going to do an origin story in every single one of these movies? No, this was sort of like a reboot.
Okay.
Apparently. Also, the previous iteration of the character in the earlier 2 movies had not had a limp.
Right. This one, Narda goes around on a crutch.
Yes. Supposed to make the contrast between her unpowered self and
it's like Matt Murdock, so nobody would suspect the blind lawyer is Daredevil. But this was, as soon as I saw it, I laughed, because this is a Stuart Lee Alan Moore joke where they talked about how all of the DC characters were one-dimensional. They were good-hearted aunties and uncles, like Superman and Wonder Woman. And Stan Lee's major breakthrough was creating two-dimensional characters.
Yes, that's right.
They would have one thing wrong with them, specifically like a bad leg.
That's definitely what's going on here. You know, in every other respect, she's a demure, chaste young woman.
Yeah. I just want to talk about a little bit about the credits. My favorite credit was wigs. I've never seen a wigs credit in the opening credits of a movie.
I saw that too.
And I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. There's some wigs in this movie.
There are some serious wigs in this movie. Okay, so opening shot is Narda praying in a church. I was like, okay, we're in real Darna territory here. Mm-hmm. Like, immediately we got a religious theme.
Yep.
This girl is very religious. She's praying in a church. Her fiancé, Ramon, is outside waiting for her. And he's hanging out with her brother, Dane.
Yep. They have some pretty cringy interactions that are meant to be humorous.
Oh, all the humor in this is... I thought this movie was in slow motion. Like, a lot of it's like people waiting for lines.
Yes.
Line comes, beat, deliver, retort.
Yes. And it's really... It's only an hour and 40 minutes, but it feels longer because of this.
Yeah.
Because of these sequences. I read a blog post by a guy who reviewed it and whose wife was from the Philippines. And he said that she felt that a lot of this stuff was cliched village banter style, humor style bantering, humorous banter that like a stereotype
Yeah.
that would really have gone down really well with the rural people.
Right. Got it.
They would have been like, oh, bam, that's just like so-and-so.
I actually got those movies my parents were watching in the 70s and 80s that I would sit there and watch with them. Also, same film quality, by the way, in terms of like degraded picture quality.
Yeah, this is not good quality.
But also that kind of Village humor stuff, I was seeing that there too. Like it really, I was getting the same feeling from it. These local thugs, but there's this girl, Christy, that comes up.
Yeah, she's not a really important character. She's just the local beauty.
No, yeah, and she has a little chat with Ramon. Ding doesn't like this. He's like, you shouldn't be talking to that girl. You're engaged to my sister. And then these local thugs show up, and they're like, hey.
The classic local thugs. They've got their shirts open and facial hair.
Yes. Yes. And
You've seen them in 100 movies.
Why are you talking to Christy? And then they follow Christy to work, where she works at this little eatery.
This whole sequence is an example of this kind of village humour.
Yeah.
And they have this long conversation with the bartender, and I completely zoned out.
Yep. And they're like trying to get Christy out there. Oh yeah, they're trying to get beers. There's all this jokes about cases of beer. No, 6 beers, bottles of beer. Blah blah blah. Christy comes out. She's really naive and dumb about these guys. But Ramon comes up the street, and they're like, "Hey, let's go beat him up."
Yep.
So you run out of the shop. They're going to beat up Ramon. They knock Narda's crutch out from under her.
Yep,
She falls down. Yep. But Narda's grandma comes out, and she beats these guys
wailing
up.
on these guys.
There's this comedy bit where she's got a rake or a hoe.
Yep.
Some garden implement, and she's beating these guys up with it.
They do this bizarre thing when they're trying to goad him into taking a swing. They kind of do a dance.
Yeah. Yes.
And go 1, 2, 1, 2, and kind of.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to describe this dance. They kind of swing their hips.
Yeah, it seems to be a thing which triggers Filipino males, I guess. Some cultural thing that we're unaware of.
I'm sure that's it. Darna is annoyed that instead of sticking with her when she was toppled onto the ground, he was getting a punch on. And he's like, "Baby, I was just trying to defend you," but she's not about it.
No.
And now we meet our planet women. Is that next?
Yes. Well, he takes off, and Grandma's like, "You shouldn't be so mean to him."
Ah, yes.
But Grandma was out on the street yelling at him for fighting earlier.
Yep.
She's like, "Why are you guys fighting in the street?" And now she's like, "He was defending you. Mm-hmm. You should be nice to him." She has totally switched on a dime here.
Typical.
We could have had a good Grandma character.
Yep.
Instead, she's super inconsistent about this.
Or the man can do no wrong,
Yes.
and the woman deserves the criticism.
Right. So so he's walking off across a field, and Darna goes to catch him, but then his flying saucer appears. This is 20 minutes into the movie.
Yep.
Suddenly there's a flying saucer.
And right, so we see the saucer first before we meet the aliens. That's right.
And it shoots down a beam which freezes him in the middle of a field.
Yes.
He's stuck.
So they haven't abducted, I thought they were abducting him. Because we get a kind of pretty, very basic special effect where his face is elongated slightly.
Yes. Yeah.
And the wavy...
It looks like they put like a glass of water in front of the camera or something and kind of... Something like that.
It was basically on that level. And I thought, he's getting abducted. This is Mars Needs Men happening here.
Yeah.
And no, they didn't abduct him. Instead, as you pointed out, he's frozen. He's frozen in a kind of T-pose.
Yeah.
With his arms akimbo, and he's completely unresponsive.
Yes. And
Nada and Ding are trying to wake him up, and he won't respond.
Yeah. Now we cut to inside the spaceship, and we meet the planet women.
Wow.
5 women, crazy colors. Some of them have like full purple body paint.
They've pretty much all been painted a different primary color almost.
Yep.
Like there's a red one, there's a yellow one, there's a violet one, and there's a blue one. And then there's the leader who's wearing a bright red wig.
Yeah, like Ronald McDonald Red.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Ronald McDonald. And heavy kind of like white makeup. Or pale, caked on makeup. And we get this... So this set looks unbelievably cheap.
Yeah.
Although they do have some lights. And they're sort of standing around a central column or pylon or panel. And they're doing all these odd gestures, like waving their arms.
Yes. Yes.
They're sort of like doing the luau.
Yep.
And and then they start reporting on. The leader will ask a question, and then one of the ladies will report on what's...
Right. So, like, for example, who is the most renowned metallurgist on Earth?
Yes.
And we'll get a name, like Mr. Rossman. It took me... I didn't understand what was happening in the scene. It's not until later that I realized that they were actually getting information from Ramon's brain.
Yeah, we got a Spock's brain situation here.
That's right.
They've
They've
took
chosen
his brain.
one guy, and very fortunately we learned later in the movie that Ramon was reading magazines in Narda's house, and so he knew who the number one metallurgist and the number one nuclear scientist, and also who is the head of the Commission of Moral and Traditional Behavior.
Yes.
He knew who all these people were because just coincidentally he read those. If they had abducted this guy, if they got abducted me, and they said, who's the number one metallurgist on Earth? I'm like, I don't know.
You wouldn't have known.
I don't know. And they'd be like, what is this plan? This plan is crazy. Anyway.
Who's in charge of the moral and spiritual revitalization of the nation?
Yes.
Who's the most important person? Like,
yes.
I don't know.
Yep.
Turns out there's someone who's the head of a commission.
That's
and
right.
you just heard about it.
That's right. So these ladies need to get rid of these 3 or 4 public figures because they're in the way of their conquest of Earth.
It's not clear. Sometimes it seems like they want to get rid of them. Sometimes it seems like they want to make use of their expertise.
Right. That's right. Which is... yes, that's right. You're right. They have 2 different explanations. The second one makes no sense.
Because
they've come all the way from another galaxy.
Yes.
They don't need the expertise of these men.
But we get a whole line.
In the same conversation, she says, we have 9th dimensional intelligence.
Yes.
You have 2nd dimensional intelligence.
Yes.
So we can do all this stuff and you can't do anything. We need your 2 scientists, including the head of the Moral Behavior Commission, to help us move the Earth to our galaxy.
Yes, because that's the plan. They're moving the Earth. They're going to put strap engines on it, I guess. This is crazy. And she's got specific roles lined out for them in this monologue.
But you just said these guys only have 2-dimensional intelligence, and you have 9-dimensional intelligence.
Yes.
Why?
It makes no sense that they would need that.
Wild.
She has a line, like, she says, the difference between our science and yours is the difference between heaven and earth.
Yep.
No, it isn't.
Yeah. By the way, these actresses, I don't know what direction they gave them, but one of them is playing it like a total ditz.
Yep.
The blonde one, she's kind of always like doing these kind of like...
Well, she got the memo, right? She knows that she's eye candy. So she's playing it like a ditz. I should mention that these women who have been painted these colours are wearing outfits similar to that worn by Darna, which is essentially kind of like bikini shorts and a bikini top and a hat.
Yeah.
And a wig.
Yeah.
So they're very much... We've got some Trinians level kind of like chicks on display here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. She's always like swinging her hips and stuff when she's answering questions like, the number one scientist is, and she goes moving her shoulders around and like...
I'm sure she was
doing this weird like
she figured out what
sorority
kind of
girl
movie.
behavior.
She knew what movie she was in.
Yeah, some of them, I mean the head especially is like really like dead serious.
Yes.
Like, really taking this very... She's really out to save her planet. She puts these girls in a teleporter, which is very slow. Now, meanwhile, down on Earth, Narda's like, she prays to Jesus.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yes.
Jesus, I will stop using this crutch. And I think her brother Ding says, I will stop using my slingshot. And he throws it away.
Yep.
She says, please save Ramon. And this thing shoots down. We hear the voice of Jesus.
Yes. Yes, we do.
This is wild. This is very different from the comic. But in a sense, it's in line with what you expect from a...
Consistent with the level of discussion about religion and God.
Yes, and what you expect from a movie from the Philippines.
Yes, because
it's very Catholic.
Highly Catholic society and public religious display very prominent in the first the first half of the 20th century, especially, which is why I'm not surprised to see it in the comics, and still even up to the present, although it is waning somewhat.
Right, but also reminded me that Telugu Superman got his powers from Hanuman.
Correct. I thought of that actually.
And here we get Darna getting her powers not from another planet. By the way, I think Darna in the comics said she's from Mars at some stage.
Yes.
Which maybe Mars Ravelo making a joke about his own name. I don't know.
Well, in the comic it was Marta, which is Spanish for Mars.
Right.
And it's since, I think now, she's still from Marta, but that might not be the planet Mars.
Got it. Okay. She's from planet Marta, something else called Marta. But here we get the powers come directly from Jesus. And she gets a little pellet, right?
Yes.
Which she's
instructed to swallow.
Yep.
And she does.
Yep. And then she says Darna and turns
We
with
get
a
an
flash.
effect, a pretty basic effect, where they just
So this is
overexpose
also,
the film stock, and then she's Darna.
Yeah.
But she just changes outfit. So we got Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Kind of like, instead of spinning, we have... But it's a crack of thunder like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
She's really cute.
Yeah. She's like, okay, I'm going to go find that spaceship. She flies off, she finds the spaceship. No problem. It's just there in a field. The stairs are down. Somebody comes out of it. And she just, I'll just go up those stairs. She just sneaks in. She has a bit of a look around.
This is when we discover what's happened. Because she's looking at this flashing pillar. She knows that it's Ramon.
Yeah.
She just knows. Oh, Ramon, what's happened to you?
Yes.
How do you know that's Ramon? It's just a flashing pillar.
She can see his, energy signature.
I'm sure. Jesus told her.
That's right.
And then the head planet woman, who's called Elektra, comes back on the craft, and I think to resolve the situation, Darna threatens to destroy her special headset.
Yeah,
which is purpose is not clear.
No. But she's really worried. Elektra really is worried about that headset getting wrecked.
Yes. She was wearing it when she was interrogating the brain of Ramon.
Yeah.
So maybe perhaps it's a psychic amplifier or something. But she doesn't seem to need it later because she overpowers Ramon's mind later without it. So we never really find out what this MacGuffin... It's a literal MacGuffin.
Yeah.
It just needs to end this scene without a fight so that Darna can get out of this.
And Darna says, look... you can have it back if you destroy the mind of my fiancé, which is, I think, giving away her secret identity a little bit.
Good point. Good point. Because they use this knowledge against
you know who it was for. You froze that guy. Okay, that guy's fiancé is this woman. Got it. Okay, so she flies back. Ramon is restored. She turns back into Narda. She doesn't want Ramon to know about her secret powers or else. And she says, I had this dream where I was asked all these questions. Who's the head of the Morality Commission?
Yes.
And all this kind of stuff. And she wants to know more. Narda's like, tell me more about this dream. He's like, I can't really remember.
They want to get rid of the heads of these commissions about the reinvigoration of national culture because then it will be easier to take over the earth when that's not there. Which strikes me as a very kind of, post-colonial nationalist kind of statement. What's going to save us is pride in our national culture.
Yep. For sure. So Narda and Ding go back home. They go through the magazines, hoping to find the information that Ramon has so they can find the names of these figures.
And they do. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Elektra dispatches her planet women to go and get these figures.
Yeah. So the first one is, I think, the head, the nuclear expert.
He's definitely a scientist because he's in a lab coat and he's kind of like bald.
Yeah.
And he's like a Poindexter.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a creep, actually.
Oh, this guy isn't bald. No, that's the second guy. That's the metallurgist.
Oh, okay.
The first guy is the guy in the smoking jacket that's like...
Oh, yes. He's heard of the planet they're from.
She says, I'm from the planet Arco Eris. And he says...
The one in the other galaxy?
He said the one in the galaxy with the twin suns? Wait a second. How many galaxies have twin suns? More than one twin sun? All of them? Absolutely wild statement from this guy. And she's like, yeah.
Well, he's a metallurgist, Kumar.
That's right. Well, this guy's maybe the space expert.
Oh, no, you're right. He's the physicist.
Nuclear guy.
Oh, this guy's supposed to be helping them steer the planet. His job was to steer the planet to the other galaxy. He thinks that a galaxy has only one twin.
That's right. Not only that. She says, I'm from Arcturus. He says, that's impossible. That planet is millions and millions of light years from Earth. No ship on the planet can get there.
but
she didn't come from here to there, you idiot. She came from there to here. Why can you not work this logic out?
I think maybe she's got the wrong guy.
He's like, that planet is millions and millions of light years from Earth.
But he's buying what she's selling once she talks to him for a bit. I mean, probably because there's a scantily clad blue lady wants you to go with her to her spaceship.
Yes.
So he goes, and then an amazing thing happens. Darna breaks through the wall.
Yes.
Just goes straight through the wall.
Yes.
She didn't bother coming in the door.
I actually think there's some 1950s Adventures of Superman TV style. I think that's what... I mean, this is pre-Christopher Reeve era kind of stuff, right? Yeah. This is really what they're kind of drawing on.
They've cut a hole in the wall, and she's just... Because it's just a Darna-shaped hole. Yeah.
She knew this guy because she read his name in the magazine. Luckily, she didn't go for one of the other guys first.
Yes.
What luck?
Point, because they're doing them in order.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They get now snakes appear. Like the blue lady can control snakes. Some snakes.
Yes,
appear.
that's right. That's
and
right.
I thought, oh,
Yeah.
it's just like people must just. Valentina is apparently far and away the most notorious enemy so arch enemy.
Yeah.
So I guess they felt like they had to throw snakes
That's
in.
right. I guess.
Just so that you knew you were watching Darna.
Now we get a very long sequence where Ramon tries to serenade
Well, first they
Narda.
wrestle. First the blue lady and
Oh yeah, there's
Darna
that
wrestle.
fight. Yeah.
And this is purely for the male gaze, I think.
there's lots of cat fights in this movie.
They're just wrestling.
Yeah.
They might as well be in mud.
Yeah, but it is like the comics because basically it's like
Yes. She and Valentina
it's
did
like
wrestle.
lucha libre kind of wrestling in the comics.
That's true.
So
That's true. All right. I'll give you're right. You're right. That's just my dirty mind, clearly.
I think it's both. I absolutely think these are cat fights
Yes.
for the male gaze, but at the same time, it's like, what do you got with your effects? What's the comic like? It's kind of all three things.
Fair.
So now we get the serenade.
This is awful.
It goes on forever where he's brought this guy who plays guitar and sings, and they're trying to choose a song, and this guy chooses the inappropriate songs to serenade. She's not there because she's out flying around as Darna.
She's not even there, or she's out, and so the grandma's there.
Mm-hmm.
So
The grandma thinks she's there.
the
Grandma doesn't know she's out.
The grandma comes out and listens to the serenade. I thought it was going to be a bit where he accidentally serenades the grandma. No, the grandma just keeps yelling at them to shut up because Darna's not. I mean, because not.
Well, Grandma actually wants Narda to listen to this.
Yes.
And
She keeps
she's
yelling at
knocking
her
on
to
the
come
door
out.
saying, wake up, but
That's
she's
it.
not there.
That's
and
it.
then she suddenly swoops into bed and says Narda and turns back into her...
So she misses the whole song. This is basically a musical number in the middle of the film.
Yep.
And it's pretty bad.
Yep.
It's a bit like Hindi Superman. Remember how they had those endless numbers?
Yeah, or if the Richard Donner Superman had actually gone with the musical number
in the
during the
middle.
flight, during the interview with
Yes.
Lois Lane,
Yes.
it would have been a bit like this, I guess. Now we have proof of what
what it would have looked like, and it would have been terrible, so I'm glad they cut that.
Yep. Okay, so the next day... Oh, no! Same night. Some thugs show up to attack Ramon again, I think.
They want revenge. For the grandma
Poor
beating.
Ramon in this movie, just like nothing
good
goes. He's
happens.
constantly getting beaten up, frozen by aliens, beaten up again, can't serenade the girl when she's at home, nothing
Yep.
goes right.
He serenades
So-
grandmom by accident
So while he doesn't see, I think he's knocked out, she beats up all these guys
as Darna.
as Darna, and one of them she puts in a barrel, a bit like Skyhawk, and he's just stuck going around in this barrel 100 times.
I thought of that one.
And throws one guy up on the roof and throws guy into a tree. And we have to go through this comedy bit twice, because 3 times. First she does it, then some neighbors see this happening, and they're like, whoa, look at the guy in the tree, look at the guy on the roof, look at the guy in the barrel that's turning around and around. He's standing up, turning around and around. And then Ramon gets woken up, and they're like, Ramon, look at all the guys you beat up. There's a guy in a tree.
Again.
There's a guy on the roof. There's a guy in the barrel.
It's just crazy.
3 times we go through this
Nuts.
business.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Okay, now we get the Institute of Advanced Metallurgy. This is where we get that bald guy who's a creep that's like, this girl wants to interview. Security guys are like, we need to give her security checks. She's like, no, she's just a young woman. She's no problem.
He doesn't want to have a security check because he wants to grope her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
He sits way too close to her.
Yep.
And he's prodding her thighs.
Yeah.
And saying, is this the new fashion?
Yeah, these purple tights. And purple skin.
And she's wearing a veil.
Yeah.
So he like lifts the veil off.
Yeah.
But she's a match for him. She actually ends up punching him in the stomach.
Yeah, takes him up to the roof, knocks him out, but then Darna shows up. Great special effect where she lands. I like the flight effect.
The flight effects I thought were pretty good.
Yeah.
I actually really liked them.
Yeah.
Much better than Telugu Superman.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a helicopter on this roof, which was a nice touch. Like, they found a real helipad
Yeah.
to have this fight on, but they just have this weird martial arts fight.
Unfortunately, this is bad fight.
It's actually a pose-off.
Yes.
For a long time, they're just, like, posing at each other, doing these kind of kata, and...
That's it. I think, someone said, how in a Bruce Lee movie, Bruce Lee will sometimes taunt the opponent by, like, come on. What if that was the whole fight?
Yes.
Because our guys can't do any martial
Yes.
arts.
They're just, like, moving around.
And taunting one another, beckoning.
Finally, they start throwing some kicks and punches.
It's all very stilted, though. These are,
Oh, yeah.
They've just
Yeah.
They haven't been choreographed. They're just doing
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, and she also punches her in the face at one point or something, and it kind of blinds Darna. Like the space woman blinds Darna, and Darna we have this blurry vision for a while. She can't see this woman, and the woman's like circling around her, and she's like...
Yes. Then a great thing happens. Darna accidentally boots the scientist off the roof.
Yes! Accidentally knocks this guy off the roof that she's supposed to be saving.
Down.
And she has to fly down to the ground and catch him.
Yeah. Great. Which she does, but she catches him on the ground.
Yeah.
She doesn't catch him halfway down because that's too hard to shoot.
Yes, yes, that's right. So she's thwarted 2 of the abductions. Elektra's not happy about this, so she sends 2 agents to the next one.
Yeah, and she doesn't. They've been training for 100 years for this.
That's right.
And they've been overpowered. That's terrible.
Yeah.
So this time, 2 to make sure the job gets done.
And there's this big party happening at, I don't know which scientist's house this is.
I think this is the commissioners for
right. Commission for History and Culture. Okay. So...
It's a disco.
Yeah. And the 2 planet women are just hiding behind plants. But they're not even really hiding. They're standing behind plants, just trying to not be noticed.
Well, they look like go-go dancers.
I guess so.
So I guess they fit in.
Yeah. And Darna shows up at this party knowing that an attack's going to happen. But some guy asks her to dance, and she's like, okay.
For 5 minutes.
And she danced very long dance sequence where she just dances with this guy for a very long time. Meanwhile, the person she's supposed to protect is being abducted.
This is very Hindi Superman as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just having a random dance sequence.
Yep. And then once the dance over, she notices the guy she's protected is gone. She runs outside.
Good protecting Darna.
She runs outside, has to fight these people. The blonde ditz can, like, teleport, or, like, she can make herself invisible or form copies of herself.
Yes.
But Darna just turns in a circle and knocks her over.
I think that's what happens,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes, because she reappears on the ground, doesn't she? That's right.
Yeah.
I had to take it back and watch that a couple of times to figure out what was going on.
I think she's just hoping, like, she would hit the invisible
that is what
wand.
happened.
Yeah. So the bad guys are like, well, look, all our plans have been ruined.
By this...
And they're like, look, she's got a boyfriend, let's get that guy. We can get at her through him. So Elektra herself shows up at Ramon's place.
Oh, yes.
A bit like in the rain, in the pouring rain. And she's like, hey, can you help me get my clothes off? Helps her get her top off. Or she's like, hey,
she's
my
under
pants,
a blanket.
can you help me get my pants
Get my
off?
pants off? And then we have the fade to black, which means they slept together.
Oh, yeah, she kisses him.
Oh, the kissing goes on forever.
She kisses him, absolutely. He's like, I'm
They've
engaged to Consuelo / Narda, but yeah, we can make out.
I can't believe how long this kissing goes on for. As well. I mean, they've done it. They've positioned the camera so it looks like they're kissing with an open mouth, but actually they're kissing with a closed mouth, and you can often see that it is. But it goes on for about 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. So he absolutely sleeps with her, and then the next morning she wipes his memory. Yep. She's like, you won't remember this, but I'm going to remember this forever. Yeah. She's like, she had a great time.
Yeah, she sure did. And then she brainwashes him into marching out into the field so that they can abduct him or threaten him.
Yeah, yes.
None of this needed you to sleep with the guy.
Yep. Yep. I think they wanted a sex scene, but they could not tarnish Darna.
Right, because she has to be...
she has to be pure.
She has to be chaste, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. So instead it's Elektra.
Yeah. So the next day he's acting really weird. He walks out into this field.
He's been brainwashed.
Yep. And then all the planet women show up when Darna shows up to rescue him.
He's been brainwashed like Old Boy. He's been given a post-hypnotic suggestion. After sex.
Yes.
Just like Old Boy.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. And they're like, hey, we got this metal from our galaxy that you can't break out of, so put out your hands, we're going to tie you up. They tie her up, they take her to their ship. Elektra explains, oh, by the way, I love that Ding is hanging around in the spaceship too.
Well, he's a hostage as well.
Yes.
Which they could have just gone straight for... Yeah, well, they didn't know about Ding yet, but they know about him now. He's a hostage
He's just hanging out in the spaceship with these women in their bikinis. And Elektra explains their whole plan as best as she can.
Which is that their world is overpopulated, and they need another world for their excess population. Yep. So they're going to move... There were no other worlds in either of the 2 galaxies in question.
Yep. They have to go to a whole other galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah.
To find one planet where they could live. Yep.
Yeah, well their galaxy only has 2 suns.
That's right.
So they need to come all the way to a bigger galaxy.
I think they really meant solar system.
Yeah, of course that's what they meant, but the guy writing this was
Even so, that space the spaceship expert should have not questioned that this woman could get to Earth because there are no ships on Earth
that can get there. I wonder if it was the translation even, because that line is so nonsensical. And then, after admitting that the purpose of their plan is for Lebensraum, Elektra then criticizes Darna for the overpopulation of the Earth.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
She says, you deserve to get wiped out by us because you are not practicing family planning.
Yep.
In so many words.
Yep.
But you need the Earth because your planet's overpopulated. And now you're telling... That doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
At all.
This is some real Plan 9 from outer space type stuff going on here in terms of these aliens' motivation.
In the 1970s, the government of the Philippines at the time had become concerned about the overpopulation and instituted the first national family planning program. Maybe a coincidence, and this film is just bonkers.
Yeah.
Or it could be that they had to put that message in there about family.
Yeah,
planning.
right. Yes, that too. Yeah.
To be consistent with government messaging.
Yeah. Yep. So she's like, you're destroying your world, so we're going to destroy it anyway, and we're going to take it to our galaxy so we can live on it because we're overpopulated, which is what you're doing. We're as guilty as you are, but we have the technology / don't have the technology to take your planet to our galaxy. Blah, blah, blah. Finally, Darna's like, okay, let's fight one-on-one.
Yeah. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And if I win, you got to go.
Yeah.
And restore Ramon's brain because he's had his brain sucked out again, or he's just
Poor
twice
Ramon.
in one movie.
Poor Ramon, again and again. This guy.
And she said, "If you win, I will serve you and help you conquer the Earth."
Yes.
The fight goes as you'd expect.
Some great effects here where
cool.
She has some beams that she Elektra has some beams that she'll shoot at a rock, and the rock will vanish.
Yeah.
And then she'll use it again on another rock, but it's the same shot of the same rock. They haven't even shot a different rock disappearing. And then she'll shoot a part of the ground and it'll disappear. And then
the same part of the ground.
The same part of the ground. They'll do everything twice.
This effect would have been more impressive if it was sped up.
Yes.
Because each time it happens, it takes about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And if they hadn't reused the footage.
Yeah. There's some bits where they're flying up in the sky and they basically just angled the camera up, from waist up shots.
Yes.
And also there's some bits where you see them flying in the sky, and I don't know if they, in the old Superman show they'd use or maybe it was Captain Marvel, they would use like an RC plane and film that. I don't know how it looks like they maybe use models or something, I don't know. But they've tried to create a flying effect here. And
doesn't look very good.
And Darna wins.
And then Elektra restores Ramon's brain and tells him that he won't remember it, but she's got something that she's going to cherish forever.
Yeah.
And she has to keep it secret from her whole planet.
Yeah.
Maybe her planet are all... I guess they're Amazons. I mean, that's never established,
right.
But maybe they're all women.
Yeah.
And then they leave, and then...
And then Narda's upset.
Narda's upset with him.
He's
like, what did you do? What did you do with this woman? He's like, I don't know. He's had his mind wiped.
Yeah. Has no memory. Now,
I cannot
he did cheat in the moment.
He did cheat.
But he doesn't know that. And she doesn't really know it either.
And you don't
she just has
cheating.
she has a suspicion about it.
Yeah. That's the end. That's where the film ends.
Yeah, the spaceship flies off, and that's the last shot of the movie. Yep. Okay.
Now, there's nothing about this movie, as we've already said. I have no idea how much it cost. Not a lot.
Right.
How did it do? Probably really well, because we get decades more Darna stuff to come.
Yeah.
It was released on Christmas Day.
Right.
In 1975, 25th of December. And the opening credits actually say, here's our special Christmas and New Year's offering to you.
Yeah, right.
Yes. That's pretty much... I don't really have anything else.
Okay.
That's really it, that it came out on Christmas Day.
Great. Great. Okay, how do we feel about these comics?
It's a yay for me.
Yeah.
They're just so crazy, and the art's so good.
Yeah. The Redondo art is so beautiful. It's really a shame it hasn't been better preserved.
For sure.
But it's wonderful. I really enjoyed the flavor of it.
Yes. The difference.
Yes.
It's not... There's problems, some of which might be attributable to the translation. Like, it really lurches around.
Yeah.
And sometimes he can't figure out how to end the issue. And in one, she's dangling her parents off a cliff.
Yeah.
And then in the next issue, it just says, "So Valentina dropped her parents off the cliff."
Oh, there's some missing chapters. Yeah. There's 2 or 3 missing chapters, which is a bit more clear in the updated.
But I love
version.
I like the madcap pace.
Yeah.
I like the melodramatic shenanigans.
Yes, I like that too.
And I like the sense of a different culture.
Yeah. 100%, all those things. I like the religious aspects of it. I like how much it leaned into that, all that kind of stuff. Okay. How do you feel about this movie?
It has its moments, but it's pretty bad.
It's bad, but I do recommend people watch it. Maybe on 1.5 speed or something like that.
I must confess, I did watch part of this on 1.5 speed.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially during some of the longest sequences, like the music.
Yeah,
and
some
the
of that
disco
stuff.
dance.
The whole scene in the eatery at the beginning with the local thugs was just like...
you really need the cultural context for it to make any sense, apparently.
Yeah.
This would be a lot more fun to watch if they cut out a lot of that humour.
Yeah.
And sped up some of the confrontations.
Yeah.
If it were about 20 minutes shorter.
Yeah. So I'm going to say nay, but I do think you should check it out because there's some crazy stuff in this movie for sure.
This is another one of those movies where I'm shocked at myself that I didn't enjoy it more.
Right.
Because it's got everything you could ever want.
Yeah.
And it really, the only explanation is because it just drags a bit.
Yes, I agree. Like, even the dance sequence, it's funny.
Yeah, because
but if it had been 1 minute, it would have been better. Yes. Like, if she was distracted by dancing for 1 minute, instead of a very prolonged 5 minutes of her dancing with this guy through this whole
It really reminded me of Hindi Superman, where they just had dance numbers.
Yeah.
And the dance numbers weren't even Bollywood style where something was occurring, where the dancers are...
Yeah, Telugu was worse for that one, because that guy couldn't dance.
Yeah.
And he'd just be kind of shuffling around. Yeah.
Just had a dance sequence for no reason. I
don't think like Vilma Santos was like a really great dancer or anything, or this guy was a great dancer. This was just a ballroom dance
doing a normal dance.
And the floor cleared for them to have. It was very strange.
Yes.
Very strange. Okay, how do you feel about it as an adaptation?
That's a good question. A lot of the stuff is there.
Yep.
Cheating fiancés.
Yes, that's true.
Snakes.
Yeah. It opens strong with the prayer in the church, I will say.
True. It's got the female villain distracted by the sexy.
Yes. Yep.
Anything else? I mean, some of that stuff was there.
Points.
Her origin, although she got it from Jesus in this one, she still has to swallow the rock.
But I wonder how flexible the concept of Darna is culturally in the Philippines. Is it like our Superman and Batman, where you can have Adam West version and a Christian Bale version, and have all these versions that have their own levels of validity? Like, we could say, it's not really close to the Darna comics, but for a viewer in the Philippines, it might not matter at all.
I think so, because you mentioned Batman Begins, because this was a kind of reboot. That's why we get another origin story in this movie, and they wanted to change her character a little bit to make her have a game leg.
Yeah.
And maybe a fiancé, maybe that wasn't something that appeared in the earlier movies.
Right.
So I will say yay then. Yay for adaptation, because this is a concept that you can endlessly revisit.
Right. Okay, I'll go yay, since I'm lacking the cultural background to say how off the mark it is.
I mean, she's a she's a bit fiery, but generally she's very moral.
Yes.
And she
I will say the tonal thing that's different from the comics is there's no comic relief in the comic book version.
True.
That's the thing that's really toned me off. To have the scene in the bar and
that's a good point.
And the serenade are really off.
More than half of this movie is comic content. Does Darna work as a comedy? We're not equipped culturally.
Ridiculous. At least the way they presented the science fiction plot, which they might have been serious about, it's so ridiculous that...
I'm staying solid with yay.
Okay, all right, we'll stick with yay.
I think Darna can be funny.
All right. Okay, please rate, review, subscribe, and share. You can contact us through the email address, which you can find in the show notes, or you can just say DM or leave a comment, or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, YouTube, or Reddit. All those links are in the show notes. And please join our Patreon at patreon.com/comicbookmovieoblivion. That's all one word. Helps us with hosting fees, and you will also get the Comic Book Movie Apocalypse exclusive podcast, which is, at the moment, once a month. And will probably not be released for free for a very long time. Okay, next week we're going to do another Darna movie.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do the 1994 Darna Returns, is what it translates as, but it's called Darna Ang Pagbabalik. It's on YouTube with English subtitles in apparently a digital remaster of some sort. It looks pretty decent.
I'm surprised. They're churning out Darna content every decade.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This character has a big following.
Yeah. So absolutely look for that, and you can find the comic Darna and the Leech Woman on Archive, I think is where I found it.
Excellent.
So have a look for that.